Oh, lordy, lordy, lordy.
We had a match that's going to air on Two-Man Dance Classic.
Yes, an instant two-man dance classic.
Instant two-man dance classic.
Sunday afternoons, from now until the end of time, this will be airing. An outrageous matchup here.
Outrageous.
So, just to catch up here, it was 4-4.
Yeah.
Going into week 9, we were all even in the record, and the points were within 19.
Mm-hmm.
I believe I was 19 points ahead.
That's right. Jets defense outscoring Joe Mixon is a terrible start for you. But
awful.
Having a good start on Thursday Night Football is in general a terrible start. It's sort of like the ultimate fantasy football bad luck. You almost don't want to have a good Thursday.
You don't want to come out hot on Thursday.
You don't. There's certain like counterintuitive things like that. I feel like the other one is if you're playing someone and they have either an injured player or someone on bye in their starting lineup and they don't remove them because of neglect. They're just not even paying attention. You would think that would benefit you. I feel like when that happens, you're 30% more likely to lose.
Yeah. No, you don't want that. You absolutely do not want that.
No. The fantasy gods, they like the people that don't try.
Yeah, they almost give a little nod to someone who leaves an injured person in the lineup.
Yeah.
Or they
have a sick sense of humor.
Oh, sick. See, it reminds me of who's that what's that Pacino, Keanu Reeves movie?
Devil's Advocate. Devil's Advocate. Yeah.
Laughing his sick fucking ass off. That's the fantasy gods.
It is.
An unhinged, scene-chewing Al Pacino they are the fantasy gods.
Justin Jefferson.
The two-man. It's really like a crazy. We have not had a week that has not really gone into the river, whether it be Sunday or Monday night.
So I end up defeating you 176 to 173, and I go up 5-4, and you're now up 16 points.
Yes. So just as a quick aside here, if we were to end the season today,
that's right.
If we were to end this madness, this would be our Week 18 Whispers scenario. This
is the Week 18 replacement games.
Because you have the better record and I have more points.
Yes.
That's the way we go to Week 18.
So after 17 weeks, if the person that has the best record is also leading in points, they win the championship.
That's it.
Or if the person leading in record is not leading in points, we go to our Week 18 replacement game, which we've been whispering about all season, where we drop all of our players and we have a new draft just for the 1 week of only players that have never been on either of our team all season. And so it gets real fun then. We're both praying for it.
We are. I honestly, that was the thing when I said silver lining. I feel like I would have been, because the beat that I took on Sunday night was
absolutely
truly
brutal.
A one-outer.
It was
like
it was truly heinous.
Yeah,
but it was one of those. I'd say I was a decent favorite going into Sunday Night Football. I think so. You had like a 5-point lead, and it was Justin Jefferson versus the Minnesota defense.
Yes, I was not thrilled seeing Justin Jefferson, who I had been shamelessly trying to steal away from you with my trade talk.
I mean, talk about the devil's advocate, trying to convince me that's a good deal for my soul.
That was. I was doing the touch, but don't taste. But Minnesota ends up coming out, and I also wouldn't say this was a weird bad beat because it was one of those. I think the easiest analogy is you had me on the flop.
I had queens, and you had ace queen going into it. You turn the ace.
Ah, yes.
Ace on the turn, but now it's a one-outer going to the river, and then I hit the last queen.
Oh, God, did you hit the queen? And you hit the queen in a very... So let's just break down kind of in this game, because we started texting at the perfect time. We held off. I also held off because earlier in the day, I found myself, there was a little bit of, you said you're shutting down the hexes. There were no sloppy hexes.
Yeah.
I sent you a sloppy hex.
I also sent you I wasn't trying to send you a hex, but then I sent you a hex later in the night.
I mean, look, we were going hex for hex. And then I realized, all right, let's just wait and see how this game plays out.
Yeah.
So it was a weird first half.
So we end up in a scenario where I'm up, I think, 1.38 points, and Joe Flacco's getting the ball.
And Joe Flacco's getting the ball. Yes,
and Joe Flacco's getting the ball. And
not Joe Flacco Jr. This is the Joe Flacco.
This is the
same one.
The same Joe Flacco that won a Super Bowl 27 years ago.
Joe Flacco thinks he can Tom Brady us, and we're not having it.
And in real football, the Colts are down, I think, 11 points. So there's no way they're ever going to punt.
No, because they're in desperate mode. So Flacco's going to be forcing the ball. He's going to be, Minnesota can just tee off because they know they got to throw it because they got to go the whole length of the length of the field. So yeah, I think that was a scenario where I think it was safe to say that it was mine to lose at that point.
Well, here's where the one-outer happens. First down, immediately, Joe Flacco gets sacked. Now you're down 0.38 points. And at this moment, I'm such a massive underdog.
Yes, and there was enough time left on the clock in the actual game that it's not like they were going to run out of time before either a fourth down stop, a pick, or another sack.
The game's not gonna end from time. Now it's second down. They get another sack. So now you've won. It is over unless somehow Indianapolis scores. And it's 3rd and 22 from their own 18-yard line.
Mm-hmm.
So at this moment, I mean, really, what are you? I feel like 98% is fair.
I think that is fair. I do. I think it's a one out. I think this is the one out.
I think it's a one-outer. So
I think it is.
Flacco does a little dump off to Trey Sermon, and now it's 4th and 13, I think.
Yeah.
He throws a 14-yard pass to Josh Downs.
Mm.
Then the next play, he gets sacked again. There's like 30 seconds left. Again, you've won. He throws a pick, so now you've officially won, except there's a flag. But even still, Murph, how is Indianapolis going to score?
Right.
And then I didn't even see this coming. They decide to just go for a field goal. And so now it just comes down to a 54-yard field goal. If they make it, I win.
Yes.
And if they miss it, you win. He drills the field goal, which puts them to exactly 7 points scored against your defense because of 2 field goals and the 1 extra point.
And the extra
point pushes it over into the new scoring bracket where you lose 5 points. And now I win in truly brutal fashion.
Rough night, but I was able to tell myself, this is what two-man dance is about. This is what Week 18 whisper. It is. We are destined.
Mm-hmm.
These are the gods nodding to us and saying we're at the halfway point.
Yeah.
This is what it is. This is what it's going to be. It's going to be. The record can't be even because it'll be an odd number of weeks at the end. So you're 5-4 now. I'm up by
16 points.
16 points,
which is significantly less than 1% point difference.
16 points. That's like you combine my 2 tight ends and you can get 16 points.
Yeah, it's nothing. It's
next to nothing.
It's truly nothing. I bring this up not to taunt. I just bring this up to again reevaluate this draft day trade.
Sure.
Where you forced Derrick Henry onto my team, just to say.
He slipped away.
He did not slip away.
The one that got away. Derrick Henry is the one that got away for me.
You forced him off your team onto my team, and
I will rewrite history mid-season, Tom. Don't think I will.
Hey, we got the audio of that. How much would you be absolutely annihilating me if that trade hadn't happened?
Badly,
because you'd be killing me.
If I had Barkley, Mixon, and Henry, that's trouble.
Derrick Henry is the number 1 fantasy player right now. Not including quarterbacks.
No,
he's literally number 1. He's leading everyone.
He's back into his Ron Popeil. His set it and forget it. Again, I love that his down week, which we were like, we said he was set it and forget it, and then he only has 73 yards and a touch. Good Lord. I mean, he had 199 rushing yards one week. Not all-purpose yards. 199 rushing yards.
He's over 1,000 yards already.
That's obscene.
It's obscene. I would love some montage compilation of all the fantasy experts and all the shit they said about Derrick Henry before the season.
Yes. We need to cut it in the spirit of like campaign ads. In November here. We cut a that'd be a great supercut of them because they definitely shit all over. Like that was,
and it's been years of it.
Yep.
They love their analytics and they're just they have a fetish for people catching passes.
Yes, and they're like, running backs do not get over 20 carries. They don't do it.
Yeah.
Nobody carries the ball. No one running back is going to carry the ball 20-plus times a game. Like, they refuse to believe it.
But, I listened to a couple of those, like, do not draft pods.
Oh, yeah.
And he was on all of them.
He's on the do not draft.
Do
pods,
not
now
draft
those
Derrick
fools.
Henry. Well, that's looking really great, guys.
That is. That's why we say, listen, it's the mystical. It's why you get into it's the only part in my, I left the church a long, long time ago. But now I get back to the mystical. The 2-man dance, this fantasy brings me back into this other, because otherwise, what do you go, if you don't look at the numbers, if you're not going analytics, you're not listening to the guys who spend literally their entire lives, their entire livelihood, Matthew Berry, et cetera, they take the time to look at this. If that ain't it, then what else can you go to? You have to look inside yourself and look to a greater, higher being.
You're absolutely right. And it's the thing I love most about this, the 2-man dance. You have to go to the mystical, the intuitive to succeed.
It's
and
all you have.
We both had that intuitive bad feeling about Christian McCaffrey.
We did, but one of us couldn't. One of us couldn't resist. I will never again draft sensibly. It's not even not drafting sensibly. It was almost more sensible because of that. It was like we felt the energy was just hanging over, and it just. I mean, there's so many revolving doors here, Tom. It's too much. It's too much to consider. You just have to look at what's in front of you, which is
that's true.
Week 18 right now.
Which
18. Is keeping my head out of the oven. One, because you're right, going into the game, I already kind of was ready for a loss. But two, I was like, well, hey, if this is how it ends, if this is how Week 17 ends, you want to talk about high drama. The drama is if going in, either one of us needs a win.
Mm-hmm.
The other one is like, let's say we're notched at, what would it be? 8-8, right? The highest drama would be what happened last night happens Week 17, obviously.
All right, Murph, well, if you win this week, we're tied up 5-5.
I only have one thing to say. I'm a fan of 2-man.